Yo, what's up, everybody out there? It's me, Ant. My dad's been a dick lately, so I'm gonna fuck with him. Come check this out. Ray, come here. I'm gonna put this on his fucking toilet seat. He's gonna think it's shit. I swear to God, watch. Come on.
Why are you talking like that?
Yeah, I'm gonna put this on the toilet seat. It's gonna look like shit.
What the fuck? Look at Lane! Lane! Who used the bathroom last?
Your son.
Hey, shit! On the fucking seat!
No!
Get up, fucking...
No, I didn't. It was
Get
me.
up, fucking moron!
It was
What's
me.
wrong with you? How do you learn? Who teaches you this shit?
It was Maria.
Hey, I'm gonna lose my mind!
I'm not cleaning.
You're over the top! Don't clean it! You clean it!
Right. So
You fucking moron piece of shit!
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't recognize him from the poker table, you definitely recognize him now. We are live with one of my favorite poker players and gentlemen and personalities and internet sensations. Let's give it up. Welcome to the stream, Anthony Antico. How are you, sir?
No, thank you. Yeah, those are my famous clips.
One of your
My
famous
son-
clips. This
my
man is
God.
viral.
Yeah, viral videos, right? Right.
But we're gonna
Crazy.
We're going to start with a little bit of background on you. You are a poker player, and that's how we know each other better than anything. You do have some pretty fun poker stories and World Series experiences, and definitely play in the Staten Island circuit as well. So give the people a little bit about you. For those of them out there that don't know you, give us a little background.
You know, and it's kind of funny because I don't really never define myself as anything particularly. You know what I mean? I try to do a lot of different things. You know me for a long time, right? So, you know, I am vice president of sales for my company. I'm an IT business.
Yeah.
And one of the big deals in what I do right now is we're always strategize and market, you know, always using, you know, you've worked with me a couple of different things, right? You always strategize in making sure you're using marketing the right way. And that was a big deal. Been doing that for about 25 years, right? So bottom line was, you know, when you're in business, being so strategic, being from New York, you know, and you like the way I say that because they're not from New York, you can tell. You know, being from New York, and then you're going to yourself, wow, you know, we could use these strategies to kind of work in the poker world as well. So yeah, you know, I do play poker, and I played poker at a very high level for a while, for a long time, and then I kind of backed off. But I definitely had some really great experiences. Kind of person that does things, and then after a while, I kind of, you know, if I get a little bored of things, I kind of move on. But then, you know, the poker, and then on top of it, yeah, we did go viral. We were on television. We were on Ridiculousness. Worldstar.hip hop was paying for our videos.
Oh, wow.
We had
My wife loves Ridiculousness. I'm sure she recognizes you from it.
Yeah, you can't submit a video. They got to find you.
I'm not going to lie.
That's true.
I've seen you react at the poker table. That is you. It's not really. That is really
Oh yeah,
you.
it's no act. No act. Yeah, people don't understand. It's not an act. It's just real. So the funny part is, like, when you start doing that time, you're walking through the city, and then people will recognize you. People are recognizing me all over the place, taking pictures with me, blah blah. And I'm like, you know, this is getting a little crazy, because I am really, in all honesty, I have a professional business that I have to run. So at the same time, you know, I'm doing all that. I was a campaign manager, right?
Absolutely.
I got involved, and I helped people try to, strategize on campaigns. You know, really love to strategize and kind of anticipate what people are going to do and think. So, you know, husband, father, all that stuff that I do.
And it all definitely boils, like, a lot of it is strategy. Poker is a lot of strategy. We already got some people checking in. They said, Anthony, any poker tips for us who don't play a lot of the cash games? What are some of your tips?
You know, it's kind of funny because I'm really more of a tournament person, right? So what I did was when I first, and I'm going to tell you guys what happened was, like, when I first got into poker was like 2012. You could look me up, and I know Tom might have put some stuff out there. We'll talk about it, but I started getting into poker news and things like that. What I did, in all honesty, was I'm a very big reader. So I bought the Dan Harrington books at that time. There was a 3-part series in Dan Harrington. He's outdated more or less right now. Things change, right?
Yeah, but I remember those. I've sold those. Those are
Right?
the green book, the red book, right?
There's a red book, a green book, and maybe a white book. There's a third series.
Gotcha.
All right. So this guy did an amazing job on strategizing, analyzing hands, breaking it down. And what I did was I went through those books, I highlighted the situations. He plays it out. I can't tell you enough that really gave me an unbelievable amount of experience just from reading, those books.
Yeah.
They were really, really good.
So now was this your first World Series? Was back in 2011? Was it the first one you played in?
So the first one was in 2013, and this is so for the people that are out there and they want to understand poker. I'm going to kind of explain. So I'm going to a conference. I'm in IT business. There's an HP conference in Las Vegas. I'm going to the conference. I go on the plane. I have 5 hours, whatever time period it is. I bring the Harrington book with me on the plane. I bring a highlighter with me on the plane at that point. I'm reading the Harrington book. I'm going through it.
You're
in
learning
detail.
poker on the way
I'm
to
learning
Vegas.
poker as I'm going to Vegas. This is exactly how it played out. So I get to the conference, and I don't want to be too long-winded, but bottom line is I go into a very big game. I don't go to the conference. I go to the Rio.
All right.
Right to the Rio.
For
I'm like,
all our non-poker players, that is where the World Series of Poker goes down and where it's all really happening.
Right. So I go to the Rio. I go into a $1,500 tournament. At that point in time, it was like bottom line is there was 1,700 players in it. Now I want you to understand. I understand how to play poker, obviously, but this is fresh off of reading the book. And Tom, I could just tell you clearly, right? So I'm playing, and you get some really big players, right? I was telling Tom the best thing that I've ever had is not even understanding who the hell I was playing against. I never realized because they couldn't intimidate me. I'm a New Yorker. I wanted to be a New Yorker. That means that you want to talk. I did the talking. I talked.
And you have
Believe
a
me,
presence.
I did.
You have a presence in life, but you have
Yeah.
a very big presence on the poker table as well, right?
Yeah. I spoke. I did it on purpose. I wanted them to really think I was I wanted them to kind of downplay my abilities at that point in time. So net of it is I get through day one. And the day one, when you got through day one, as that particular time, Tom, so 1,780 players, they break down the field, and I forget exactly the numbers, but I could tell you this clearly: we were in the money, got through it in the money on day one,
And that's a
when
big
I
deal. So
finished
now
that day.
you're in the cash.
Now I'm in the cash.
Yeah, but
Again.
but for anybody that doesn't know the World Series of Poker, it breaks down where in the very beginning of cash, it's very minimal cash, and the higher you climb, the bigger those numbers start to get.
Right. So I'll kind of give you guys because I just from the experience. So now I'm in the cash. When you go back to day two, you, like Tom's saying, it's going to be different levels. They're going to have a whole bracket of people. I'm I'm getting now. I'm playing against a lot of professionals. Now I start seeing. I'm learning what they're doing to me. Very quick example would be, from our perspective, is that somebody's on. You're on the big blind, and somebody on the button. If there's a pro before the button, they're gonna raise you, raise you.
They keep the pressure on.
They want to put pressure. They want to make sure you're afraid. Again, I'm not, but they wanted to see that. So what I would do many times against the raises at that point in time, I would re-raise them without even if I had a 7 and 2 in my head. I didn't care what I had. Didn't matter to me because I knew what they were trying to do.
You felt it. It's the same thing in business. I got a couple other people checking in all over the place. What's up, Daniela and Joey DiNatale checking in. John Noto checking in. Todd Bavona. Todd, is this better? Because Todd told me my framing in my previous videos was no good, so I tried to adjust it and change my lenses. What's up, Mike Pickering? How are you? We got a lot of people checking in all different streams, so if we don't see you right away, I'm definitely going to get to you. So now let's get back to it. Some of the pros are putting a little bit of extra pressure on you because they were smelling you as being fresh off the Harrington book lesson on the plane ride across.
Yeah. I didn't whip the Harrington book. I didn't whip it out of the table, So it was, you were all, I mean, you guys all know if you're playing poker. I mean, listen, you could raise me once, twice. When it happens to the 10th time, they're outrageous, right? I mean,
yeah.
So at some point they're doing this, and I'm raising. They don't want to mess with me because one big advantage, they don't even know who I am, really. They don't know what I'm capable of doing. They don't know who I am. It's a very big advantage, right? It's a huge advantage. So
true. This is true.
That point in time, I'm doing all that. I remember there was a point where I got pocket kings on the big blind, and I remember that I got a big raise ahead of me, and I did the all in move on that one, and I ended up taking it down, made me a lot of chips. So that's really day two going through it. I went through day two in a very, very big position. My biggest move that I made in day two, and I'm gonna tell you guys right now, you can't make any mistakes. You got to be really, really. You have to really pay attention to every bet, every situation. I always say I know in games when I make major mistakes. I made very minimal mistakes in these kind of games. Very, very focused on what I had to do. I didn't play out of positions really. I didn't do anything stupid. But the bottom line is there was a big pro playing against me. I had pocket nines and made a big move with my nines. And bottom line is I doubled up, got him to lay down jacks. He had no clue. They stare you, and I just want you, very intimidating. They try to do it, right? Tom,
And they're
you
trying
guys
to
probably
place
know
you.
the play, right? Yeah, forget. They're staring in your face. They're trying to see if you're moving. Most of the times, the hand is going to stop. Not stop. You're in the middle of action, but they're staring you down to see if you're going to give them any kind of a signal that what's going to happen. Right?
Absolutely.
And you can't even. You got to just go right back at them.
So
Right back at them. No problem.
when we were in the green room a little early, we were just reviewing some of this stuff. I want you to tell them that Ryan Riess story. Anybody that doesn't know who Ryan Riess is, he was the young kid that wore the Detroit Lions jersey that took down the main event at the World Series. So
Yes. So I was telling Tom when we were talking earlier. Well, I just a quick thing, Tom. So I ended up getting
go
to
ahead,
day
sorry.
three. I ended up coming in. This is the worst part, guys, because when I was really, what happens when you get to the final 18 people, ESPN's there, you're signing forms, you're on television, you're talking about waivers, the cameras are rolling.
I want to ask you. I want to ask you a question because I've always heard this. Is it true, from your perspective, from what you had done, that when they start talking chop, you can never discuss that on the TV or this and that? Or
There's
did
no
anybody?
chop. No, there was never. This is straight up. This was. So the final table's live on ESPN. There's a lot of stuff happening, and again, remember I keep on saying you can't make any mistakes. I'll tell you in all honesty, I don't care about the Dan Harrington book. He didn't write a chapter on what happens when the cameras are rolling, and you don't want to look like an idiot.
It changes the game.
That.
Yeah, you felt
Yeah,
like
it does for somebody that never been in that situation.
this was before.
That's
This was before your internet stardom.
yeah, before my internet started. I mean, kind of just saying to yourself, oh, the last thing I want to do is look like an idiot in this hand and make a mistake, and then the ended up that I made a mistake, and the reality was out of 1,780, I came out 11th.
Oh
Right,
wow,
I
that's still
had
a great.
11.
That's a crazy percentage.
Great, but it's one person away from final table on featured on ESPN.
Oh
So
man,
it
the
was
bubble
really
that you were the bubble for that event.
right. I could have sat on my hands and made it to the final table. I decided to be slick on the button and make a big move, and that didn't work.
So what happened? Now I need to know. As a poker
I
player, I
gotta
need to know.
know. What happened was I had an ace of diamonds and a two of diamonds. Everybody folds ahead of me. I make a very big bet. The flop comes over with two diamonds and a two and two diamonds. So I decide to be really slick on it. The guys check. Antico decides to go. Well, I go all in. Well, snap called by the small blind next to me. He ends up hitting. You'll love this one. Trip twos. That
Oh,
trip twos.
that
Trip
is
twos.
so sick.
Yeah. And the guy I was telling Tom earlier, I don't know who these people are. When I looked them up on the poker databases, the guy won about $5 million so far. I mean, he was
Oh
much better
man,
than I would ever be,
yeah,
So
that's
that was crazy.
not better than you'll ever be. You're only on your first Harrington
Well,
book. By
yeah,
the time you
that's
complete that
true.
series,
True.
yeah, man, that is pretty crazy. 11th.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
heartbreaking. And you're still in the top 1%. You finish in the top
Yeah.
1% of that field.
Yeah. But it didn't feel good, Tom. You didn't walk away with like that feeling that
Yeah, that's your biggest cash so far, right? The biggest individual tournament cash.
That was my biggest cash, yeah. And that's another thing too, is then the money, right? The money, because now you're in some serious stuff. So every time a person's ahead of you, like it wasn't no more serious stuff. It was moving. Like if I came in 10th, I was going to get another $10,000 or another $20,000. The first prize in the game was almost $500,000. So it was like, it was kind of crazy.
$500,000. 10
Yeah.
people away from 500,000.
Yeah, that's exactly why. There's the nerves, right? There's where it comes in.
Yeah.
They can't teach you that in the book.
They definitely can't
Right.
teach you that in the book. That's
Nobody made that chapter.
I know. Well, see, now we know what book is left to be written, so we can get onto that too.
Right.
Then,
Right.
So yeah, and tell us some more about you. Everybody out there, we have a lot of people, I'm sure, that are tuning in. How do you think more people know you on Staten Island? Because right now we're going through a very different time, right? So this is the new normal, and this is how I've been choosing to deal with it: is going live and meeting more people, keeping positive notes. You are one of the positive guys, but I also know you like to frequent Starbucks. I've met you for many mornings in Starbucks for a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Have you
That's
been
me and
to
John
Starbucks?
Noto. No, I stopped. See, John took over. Me and John did it every day, and it was getting very. We had crowds of people over there. We were very,
Like the mayor.
We became the mayors. People were coming in. There was a lot of people. It was like the whole freaking morning crew over there, and it was loud and screaming at 5:30 in the morning. And who hated me and who liked me, who didn't want to go near me. People were trying to sneak the other way, So then I just left it to John Noto. I think he's out there. John,
He's still out there. He's still in the Starbucks. He better be wearing a mask. I hope he's wearing a mask and some gloves.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful.
It's closed right now.
Have you been quarantining, staying in the house? Have you not left the house? What's been going on? How's your family?
No, I've been still working. So I work every other day. So I'm I kind of have to go and do things for my job.
Are you more remotely?
Really busy.
So you're an essential.
I'm both. I'm both. I'm both.
Gotcha.
I run sales for my company, so I'm doing both at that time.
How about the wife and kids?
Everybody's good.
Everybody's good?
Holding up really well. Going in today, I try to buy a hand sanitizer. This is me, guys. So when I was when I walked into the store today, I went by. I work in Rosebank, and I went down there. And I walked into the store, and this is how I have conversations, Tom. And you do know who I am.
Yeah.
I went like this to the guys. I go, hey, how you doing? How you doing, buddy? I go, I'm looking for hand sanitizer. I said, I know you have a secret stash, so get it for me. And the guy's like, we don't have no hand sanitizer, right? So I'm looking at him, and all of a sudden there's this guy over here next to me, and I can't even make it up because it happens to me only. He's in a wheelchair. And I'm looking at him, and he goes, "Oh, I have an extra hand sanitizer at home." And I look, and he has no arms. And I go, "Oh my God!" I asked the guy with no arms.
Hold on.
Yeah, you can't make it up. Can't make it up.
You can't. Was your question, why do you have hand sanitizer at home?
It's just me going to myself, "Oh my God!" I asked the guy with no hands for hand sanitizer, and he tried to invite me to his house. I'm like, this is outrageous.
How is he getting around? How do you wheel a wheelchair?
He had an electric wheelchair. He did something with his feet, but it was off the charts.
Goodness.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's right to laugh at that. I've tried not to laugh at that.
You can't. I even want to laugh at it. It's like, holy shit, did you really do that? Yeah, it happened. Yeah, it was crazy.
My first question would have been, where do you put this hand sanitizer?
Yeah, I'm like, why? I was like, well, obviously you don't need it, but I didn't say that. He's like, you could come to my house. And I'm like, I don't need to go to your house, buddy. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, man. So up and about. How is your Uncle Patty? Uncle Patty is a poker player, so I know a lot of the people that are watching that are our usual poker contingents. Just real quick, I just want to let people know, if you're watching via Facebook, because I know a lot of people are watching via Facebook, feel free to cut on over to our YouTube channel. I can read all of your questions from the YouTube channel, so it's a little bit easier. And then I'm able to field them all. We have a million different streams going, but the YouTube stream is usually where I answer the questions from. So it's down to the felt, and then just click on the little video with Anthony Antico's face on it. I'm sure it's going to be one of our highest rated of the videos. So back to you, Ant. Sorry. So how is Patty? How is Uncle Patty doing?
Patty's been sick, but he's doing good. So, my uncle taught me a lot about poker, and that he's just been a little under the weather. Not because of the coronavirus, just because of... Yeah.
Well, if he needs anything, because I'm I'm not out and about a lot, but we do try and help out, whoever can. And I think Patty should definitely be staying in the house, and if he needs anything dropped off, I would hate to see him try to make it to a to like a supermarket and stuff. I feel like this isn't.
No, he's been really good.
That's good because I could see him getting antsy. He used to like to go. He was
Yeah.
always cleaning the bar and getting everything together and doing this and doing that. So I totally
Right.
appreciate that. I feel like I don't know. I haven't been leaving the house too much. I've been pretty much quarantined in, doing a little bit of this, going live, and all this type of stuff. I also want to. The other day, I lost a really good friend, and we just did a memorial thing for him. We raised a very good amount of money for his family, and you know what's so weird to me is you can't not being able to socialize for like a funeral is freaking me out because I'm like I don't usually go to a funeral to see the body. That's not usually my thing. I'm not with it. But you're there to help the other people. So now this funeral coming up, they're telling me that we can walk in, pay our respects. You can't go near the family at all, and you walk out, and the next person comes in. Doesn't that almost kill the whole reason for that funeral?
Yeah, it's a bad time. It's struggling for everybody. People have anxiety.
Yeah, man.
You
And
know, but you don't know when it's going to end.
but we're social creatures, right? So it's so weird that we're not able to be social. I feel like, what are you drinking? What are you drinking tonight? 'Cause I'm gonna have to get a drink
Oh, it's
too.
wine. I have wine.
Wine?
Just wine.
I'm gonna go get myself a Corona because that's what he used to drink. So I'm gonna kill a case of Corona. Well, kill Corona one case at a time, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna be my goal. But now let's get back on track. So now, when did the internet stardom kick off?
Well, that's my son. I mean, he was trying to.
It is
So
your
what happens
son.
is,
Go ahead.
well, my son does these things, and he was making these crazy videos, and then what happens is that people like pretty like they don't understand New York people, like they don't get it. And then even when I used to travel around in business, people, I've been all over the country. I've been in major presentations.
Yeah, and you're a big personality. I've been lucky enough that Anthony has guided me into some tech firms that we've worked together, and everybody has nothing but good things to say about you. But when you talk, people listen. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, I'm working on, just to kind of a prelude to this, I'm working on these projects, and they're sending me to Seattle. My biggest concern is not trying to scare people. I'm trying not to make these people afraid of me. I can't do that because I'm so aggressive. So I had a big presentation with IBM. We're selling to AT&T. They, I always like these things they did to me. We're doing this whole thing, and they actually brought in a linguistic coach to try to work with me, like this, help me speak American, the Seattle language in 24 hours or less.
Trying to translate you.
Yeah, try to get rid of how I am. So
Are they trying to take the Staten Island, New York Italian out of you?
Yeah, she was like, she was at that point in time, and this is back in those days. She wanted me to use the word mitigate, and I refused to use the word mitigate. I told her it's not me. I told her it was not my type of a word, and I don't use the word mitigate. And she got really upset. And it was the funniest part was that we went to this big presentation, and they're the only person that got so I did all my thing, and I became me, which I like to do. And at the end of the day was out of all these IBMers, these guys that I met, people that worked on these huge projects, I got my part of the deal. They didn't get their part of the deal because I was able to be myself.
Well, that's what it is.
That.
You're in sales. So in sales, I think you're really not selling your product. You're selling you. It's
Right.
what you are is really what it is, right? So people are buying you. They're believing in you. So I agree with you. So see, all that mitigating, and they got nowhere
Mitigating.
with it.
Now I'll use the word mitigating. And so my son starts doing some of these videos, and the next thing you know, he has this thing. He comes up to me at dinner time, and I'm always stressed out all the time. I'm always, whoever knows me out there, I'm high octane all the time. I'm type A, psh. So he's telling me he wants to be a rap star at one point, and I went absolutely berserk. And he was filming me, and they went. That was the one that. So that's when Worldstar.Hip Hop bought the video. I'd even heard of Worldstar.Hip Hop. I had no idea who they were. Never heard of it. It's not what I would even watch. And they did a contract with my son to do 10 videos with them. So we started doing that stuff.
Good for him.
He did good. challenging thing. It's kind of interesting. Then we got invited on the radio. People wanted to interview us. It goes really kind of fast, when stuff like that was happening.
Absolutely, I'm sure. I'm sure it takes off, and it's something that you're not used to. So when after the first video, so now you get recognized on the street as the angry Italian dad, guys. By the way, what's your son's Instagram? Because I want to make sure we push people to it so they can go check it out.
He's Ant_Ant 16.
Ant 16.
Ant 16. Yeah.
And
He's out there. He has a lot of. I don't know the number he has right now, but he usually has a lot of people that follow him. Maybe almost sometimes he gets over 30,000 people that follow him.
That'll watch you.
It's Ant_Ant 16. Yeah. So that's what happened.
What's the craziest thing anybody's ever said to you that didn't know you, that just recognized you from the video?
It's like people just don't. Again, it's the way that when they come up to me, like I just randomly walking down the street in Manhattan. The streets are packed with people. I mean, they're packed.
You could walk by De Niro on those streets and now they see
that's
you.
what I'm talking about. And people like, oh my God, they're stopping me, and I'm not good with that stuff. I don't want to talk to these people. Like I don't. It's like, oh man, I love your stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, all right, thank you, and I'm just trying to get out of the conversation as fast as possible.
Yeah,
that's just how it is.
So crazy, so crazy.
Yeah.
And then, so what is your give us a little bit more about what's been going on as of late. So since you still are going in and out of the office, what do you think of the whole state of events and the whole new normal that is going on?
Yeah, that's what we, from a business perspective. I mean, from our business right now, we're talking about that all the time, and what happens really, because I think the state of normal going forward in business, in my IT stuff, is you're always going to be talking about this virus, right? Because what happened in our business was people weren't prepared, Tom. They weren't ready for this.
This has to be a boom on your end, right? It's got to be a boom.
It depends if your position. If the answer for us is yes, but
Okay.
you got to be very careful, because it's a very delicate time with money and budgets and things like that. But people weren't prepared. Company policies were all thrown out, right, Tom? Look what you're doing right now. You have to adapt. Everybody has to adapt. Like I was talking to the city of Newark today. City of Newark has a policy: you can never work from home. Never work from home. Well, guess what? That policy is gone. Policies were all gone, right? They don't
That's
exist.
true.
Everybody's trying to everything's changed. So what happens? So we look like we get a big consolidation coming right now with companies that aren't going to be able to sustain, right? They're going to go away. And then there's going to be, how do you get more prepared for virtualization, doing things that you're doing right now with conferencing, teleconferencing, working from home, being prepared, right?
Yep.
People didn't have that. That's going to be a lot of buying going on in that phase. The government's going to be dumping a lot of money into businesses, right?
Yeah,
So
into the
it's gonna look like-
infrastructures.
Yeah,
But
it's going to be that whole
But
way.
now it's so many people operating from home. Do you think they're going to cut back on the on the actual workspaces, where it's going to turn a little more virtual? Do you think that stuff will
Yeah,
occur? I don't know. I'm just asking.
We don't know. I mean, the answer is you don't know. It could be the new norm. I was also talking to these people today, and one of the things that could potentially be down the line is that, from technology standpoint, you're going to be monitoring people's temperatures. You're going to be doing it like a thermal type of, from the cameras or whatever else the technology might be. You might be monitoring their temperatures in a building.
Oh,
They
wow.
do it in China right now, right? They know who's walking in, who's at 98.7, who's at 100, and they're gonna that could be another scenario, right? That could
wow.
happen to businesses,
Yeah,
or buildings,
yeah, where it's a
or-
whole new form
poker-
of security.
or poker leagues, right?
Or
It's
poker
gonna
leagues.
be.
What do you
we
think
don't
about
know.
that? That's one of the things that's so different to me. So live poker and virtual poker are two totally different animals to me. I'm more of a social creature. I think your dog has an opinion on this. I'm more of a social creature, so I feel like I love live poker. It's very different to do on a computer, So like the social engagement and interaction,
Right.
like that's the thing that I'm most about. Like I think that's why I do what I do. I work in a lot of the entertainment field and live events. So this is cathartic for me, I guess. Like it's the thing that helps me be who I am through this virtual presence. But
Right. Right.
it's not the same. It's still not shaking a hand. It's not giving a hug. Like I said before, like this wake that's coming up for me tomorrow, I don't know how to do it without going over and saying hello.
Right.
And I'm like, what do you do? It's so weird. I'll drive up just to drop off medication and food and stuff to my parents, and I'll make them talk to me from 10 feet away because I'm like, I come in contact with more people than most. I don't,
Right.
God forbid, you don't want to convey nothing. But now I'm like, it's not natural. It's definitely not natural. It's not right to me. Do you think this passes and turns back to the normal, or now are we always going to be stuck in this weird? Like 9/11 had a big ripple, right? Even though people are like, oh, people that are born now don't realize it, but there was a big ripple. So the whole Patriot Act and everything else that happened. Now with this, is this going to have that same type of weird ripple throughout our society forever? I don't know.
I don't. We talk about it all the time, and I'm on the phone with these consulting companies and trying to see that. And in all honesty, it's like kind of, in some cases, it's in my business, it's a business reset, right? And
Yeah.
I think that the new normal is going to be that, yeah, we're not going to. It's not going to be like, you know what? It's over on May 15th. We're gonna put the switch down, and guess what? We're all good. That's never going to happen, right?
No.
People are going to still be fearful. People are going to still not want to do things like that, right? So that's going to take a while to get back to whatever we had as normal, but we don't think that you're going to flip a switch and then all of a sudden
I
back
know.
everybody's.
And what's
Okay.
weird? What's sick to me, like the Dr. Fauci was saying that maybe we should stop shaking hands forever. Now, you come from a very similar culture that I come from. Well, you kiss on the cheek when you say hello.
Right.
You're going
Right.
to tell me nobody's going to do that anymore? I'm going to give you my elbow? That's not, I don't know. I can't see it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I just, Todd, I don't know if realize I'm not like big on the touching anyway, so it never really mattered to me. My son always always made videos about hugging me, so I'm actually happy. I ran into the store and I seen a friend and I'm like, hey, I gotta go. So I mean, that's like the best case scenario for me. So talking to people. I saw Noto the other day and I was not even. I gotta go. Can't talk. Gotta go. I don't even do that.
Rolling
Just
up the
running
window.
away. Yeah, I'm like ready to run away all the time. So
Oh, man.
me, I'm happy.
Yes, you. I get it. You do have a different persona on it. I'm
Yeah.
all over the place because poker chips to me, like I used to always be at a poker table, but I was the first poker league to shut down in the tri-state area, right? So and a lot of other people were like, "Oh, why would you do that? This and that." I don't really like to go into like COVID stuff. I like to keep it lighter and happier, and that's why I enjoy people like you who have so many stories. But yeah, so like I just felt like I had to stop it, to slow it, stop the spread, and hopefully we can go past it. But this looks like it's not outside of the spectrum of when me and you talked a few weeks ago, right? Didn't I say like
we sat down. Me and you were sitting down.
we were sitting down in person in a Starbucks and packed, watching people walk by us, not caring, and we were.
Right.
I was like, this thing's gonna last 3 or 4 months. I think. I don't think this
Right.
is a 20-day trial, 14 days, and we go back. Right? It's so crazy.
Right.
So my prediction, I
It was crazy.
guess I'm taking it lighter because I'm like, this is exactly what I saw happening. I just don't know where the next, how to adapt more, right? My business is totally frozen as opposed, yours is better.
Yeah.
Mine is just like, all right, I need to I think this is a time for opportunity too, which I guess is weird. But I think every time there's a difficult period where nobody is able to just do what they regularly do, that's when people become successful because they find something that changes, right?
Yeah, you got to change. You got to keep on reinventing your businesses, and that's what people are going to be dealing with. And you probably going to have to do something that potentially will reinvent business, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it looks like, but it could be. I mean, you could be hosting more online tournaments right now, potentially. I don't know what that happens, but it could be a way that you have your own league that way.
We're in the process. We actually have some contracts already with some online sites. We're about to launch, and I'm going to make all the announcements. We got the contract signed and countersigned the other day, so we're going to release all that information probably this weekend for a soft launch, and then go really hard on Monday, Tuesday, and then take it virtually. But that's still not what I don't know if that's going to satisfy my sense of connection to all my players and everybody that I tend to really be out there for. That's really what it's about,
if you don't, you got to, unfortunately, and yeah, listen, I want everything to go back to the way it was. I enjoyed that as well. In the interim right now, we have to make changes because, we have to just adapt to the current environment, right? So I know that, and what I'll give you an idea, like when I'm doing these, I do marketing sessions at my job, and what you'll do is like we'll do big Zoom meetings. We'll send everybody wine. We'll have a happy hour with clients or these different OEMs like Dell Computers potentially, and you're going to log on to a Zoom session, and you're all going to be having some wine and having conversations, and you're all meeting. And it's getting people together, right? I never did that before, right? Now all of a sudden,
So right,
that's
never.
what happens.
And I was discussing
Before I
that.
got on the before I got on the call with you, that's what I was doing. I
Virtual
was in a
happy
meeting.
hours. I know that's where it's
Yeah.
at. So, which
Yeah.
is crazy. I was talking to a friend of mine that has a very large entertainment company, and he's like, no, he's like, I can't see virtual parties, and me, because I'm another form of entertainment. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I need to find a way that if it does go that way for a year, I need to find a niche in this market that we can adapt to and be part of.
Right.
I
right.
think that's the key. We can't say it's, we'll be back to it in a little while because I don't know. It's unstable. It's not stable
Right.
yet.
Well, I thought you were doing a great job with your website. You had everything. I mean, you had everything. You were going on all cylinders right until this thing happens, man.
Yeah,
I
we
saw
were
what you
firing like crazy. That was my
Yeah, I mean,
sidebar. That was my best March we've ever had in the past. We've been around for
Yeah.
16 years with this business. That was our best March.
Right.
And all of a sudden, somebody pulled the e-brake and we started spinning. And I'm like,
yeah.
and
It's
then
it's frustrating when it happens.
crazy. But you know what's funny is that so I was talking to a different person with an entertainment company, and they would keep asking me, "What would you do? What are you doing?" People want their money back. People want to postpone. People want this. I'm like, I give it all back. I'm like, this is too. It's too awkward of a time for me to be like, nope, sorry, that says non-refundable. Just take it back. Keep the good faith and goodwill going, and we'll get back to it. Some things are going to cancel. Some things will come back, and maybe something will come tenfold because that's usually what happens.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with
That's the nature of my business, though, too.
you. Yeah.
I think
But listen, I've been in IT for I'm almost 20, 30 years right now. I went through so many different versions of IT. We didn't change what we were doing, I would have been done. I would have been out of business many times because you had to adapt. I had no choice.
I
You
know.
had to.
Now we just got to
So
try to put something together with IT and gambling, and we got this. We got this.
yeah, I think there's things out there that people are doing. Somebody just sent me a big link for a poker site tonight. I didn't even look at it yet.
Every
These guys
day,
are like,
every day I'm getting approached
Oh.
the same thing because I'm in the poker. We're in the poker realm.
they told me like this. Oh, they always give you the big story. Oh, yeah, Timmy won 15,000. Blah 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 on this site. I only hear the good news. I don't know what else is
Yeah,
going.
but that's
down.
every gambler
Let's
in the
go.
world, right?
Right,
Nobody,
yeah.
nobody ever tells
Yeah.
you that 900 times they lost $1,000. They tell you about the one time they
I
won
never do
20,000.
I don't do that ever neither.
What's your
Forget
biggest?
about it.
What's your biggest gambling? Not poker. Biggest gambling win. Biggest gambling loss. Go ahead if you're willing to share.
Biggest, you like. I mean, I was in a. It was fun. I was at a big cash game at the Borgata. I walked in because I'm aggressive and I won. I'm like this. Anthony Antico and this guy was with me. His name Tim. He was with me. So they go, Antico. All right, you're at table 10. Tim, you're over at table 2. Well, we're playing. It's about 3 a.m. And because I'm aggressive and I had to go sit down first. Well, the bottom line is he was at a bad beat table. He
Oh
sat at a bad beat
shit!
table. There was $250,000 at that table. He didn't get part of that, but he got part because he was in the game. Got
Yeah,
like 20 something thousand, whatever, just for sitting there.
I'll take
You
it.
know how that goes, right? So I'm like, yeah, I'm like, shit. I'm like, son of a bitch. If I wasn't aggressive, if I would have made him go first, which is nice, then I would have won second. And
Right?
then, so now I'm like, I'm fuming, going back to my hotel room, and there's this $25 machine at the Borgata that I always I enjoy. It's a good machine for me.
Which
So I
machine?
end
Which
up,
machine? We want to know.
it's I don't know. It's one of those sevens. I don't even think they have it there anymore. But bottom line is I put I'm like, all right, let me put a couple hundred in this thing. Well, I ended up hitting for at that point before I went to bed, I got 9,500 back.
Oh,
right? So
wow.
that was like
Nice
that day.
spike.
So that was a good one. And because I was pissed off about the 20,000, right? So I got the 9,500. Then, then this he came. This is a Super Bowl weekend. No, yeah, this is a Super Bowl weekend, right? Yeah, I end up hitting the Super Bowl pool. I end up winning around another. That point was about 12,000. So now I'm getting back to where I almost got to by not sitting at the table, right? Can't even stop. I go from church before the Super Bowl started, and this is like kind of regressing, but before Super Bowl started, went from church, bought a scratch off ticket. I hit for 5,000 on the scratch off ticket
Oh,
that whole
wow.
weekend.
That's a good weekend. That's a really
Yeah, it
good
was a good
weekend.
weekend. It was a good weekend.
It
So it
is
was like one of those,
good for
So
you.
been in some different situations.
No, I hear you. Trust me, I hear you. It comes
Yeah.
and goes quick when you're playing. Like when people gamble, it just ups and downs, back and forth, and eventually it all evens out with a little bit more going towards the casino, for the most
Yeah,
part.
you guys. I mean, I tell you, Paul, your poker guys, when they ever listen or whatever, I mean, I tried everything imaginable. I tried every strategy I could ever kind of try. I was actually at a point of showing my bluffs. I do not recommend showing your bluffs because all you're doing is getting people really, really, really upset. So I was playing against this German guy in a cash game. I take down a huge pot on him. I want to be a tough guy, and I show him my bluff. It was a bad bluff, like a 9-2 offsuit bluff. And he folded to me.
So then he's coming for you. Now you just got to
Oh,
wait till you have
man,
the
let me
real
tell
hand.
you something. This guy had a vendetta that I can't even explain how much he wanted to take me down. And of course, moron like me stayed at the table for hours. And this guy never smiled, never cracked anything. He went after me like there's no tomorrow. And guess what?
He
He
got you.
won at the end. He got me.
I
He got me.
I
I
got a
never pissed off somebody that much.
See, I got a great story just like that. So now part of my game when I play poker, I'm gonna give everybody all this insight now because I don't really play versus too many people. I sit down and I feel like I make friends with certain people. I try to polarize, right? So I'm either gonna be really friendly with you, or I'm gonna needle you because I don't like you. There's never like an in between. So I'm playing and I was making big bets. Like when I first sit down, I'll play really bad cards with big bets and show them just to try to get all the action. And then I tighten up a lot, right? So I make like a $30 raise on a 1-2 table, and this guy, I make a $30 raise. He re-raises. I call it. We go. Flop comes garbage. I have garbage in my hand, by the way.
Right.
I shoot out again. He calls again. Now only way I win this is by betting on that river, right? River comes, make a big bet. He folds, right? Now, just like you were saying, usually you don't show the bluffs. I show him, right? I show him garbage, rat cards, right? This and that. So now me and this guy, he doesn't like me. Right there, he hates me. Now
Hate you.
comes again. We come around. I make a $12 raise. He makes it $48, right? I was holding pocket kings, right? So I look down at my hand and I'm like, $48, and all it was in was the $1, $2. My raise to $12. So where are we at? We're at $15. He makes it 48. I was like, you know what? I fold it face up, and I'm like, his name. All right, he had his name on his hat, and it said Ivan.
Oh, God.
Right? So
Right.
Ivan on like the Scully cap. So I was like, I turned to the dealer, and the dealer's name was George. I'm like, George, you got your name on your shirt over there. Pretty cool. I was like, anybody with their name above their neck is a real asshole, right? And we're in the Taj at the time. So now I'm just needling and poking. So now it comes around again. I look down, I make it $12. Goes back to him. Like, again, now I'm in the big blind. So he just called. Comes around again, I make it $12 again. I look down, I have aces, right? So now I'm like, I got this guy. He makes it $48, and I'm like,
Oh, God.
all in. So now, best laid plans of mice and men. We hate each other. We're talking. I'm talking shit.
right.
Like he
Right.
jams it in with me. He had pocket tens. Jams it in. What's the window card, Ant?
Yeah, of course.
10. Bang. Sends
No
me to the
doubt.
rail.
No doubt.
Takes $600 from me. Sends me to the rail, and I'm like, this guy just thinks he got me too. That's what burnt you. It burns you in the inside.
Blame
Even
it
more.
on you, Tom. You got to use the secret. You made that 10 come.
I
That's
guess,
the problem we
right?
have, you know?
I guess. I guess.
You know, you're talking. So, yeah, this is like the greatest things, too. Is like, so you guys, when they when you're in the game, and the kids are different than I know how the kids play. They're pretty cool when they're
Hyper
playing.
aggressive.
They're very, very aggressive. They're over the top aggressive. I mean, you can't possibly, again, you can't have 10 hands and you're raising me 10 hands. I mean, I don't care what it doesn't work like that. I mean, we've been playing long enough. I'm in another big game, and I'll tell you another thing that I did, which is the greatest move, was that I had pocket aces, and I flop a boat, ace, 2 8s. All right, they come over. I flop a boat. I check. This guy makes this big bet on my 8 on the 8s. I don't know why he did it.
Okay.
So I raise him. Okay, and I didn't go all. I just raised him, and just to bust his chops. Right at that point, it wasn't the greatest move. It didn't make any sense really. Whatever, but I did it. So the guy goes to me. He goes to me. What do you have? Now these people ask you these questions. This is what he asked me. He said to me, "What do you have?" So I'm saying to myself, I love that this guy's asking me what I have. This is exactly what I did to him. I said, you know what? I like you, my friend. I said, I'm gonna be honest with you because that's the kind of person I am. I'm an honest poker player. I said, what I have? I said, I flopped a full boat. I
Okay.
go, that's what I have. And the reason why I did it in that point in time, because I knew there was no chance in the world that he was believing what I said.
Impossible.
No shot.
Yeah, nobody
He
ever
definitely
believes you
thought
when you tell the
nobody's
truth.
going to believe me, right? You want to ask me the question? And I did that. So what did he do? He raised me all in. He called he all in. He raises me all in. And the bottom line is he was I never seen somebody that upset, like really, really upset. Like
Yeah.
really, really, really super
I
upset.
got one of those too. I'm playing the boy god in another game. I think it was a 2-5 game, and this one guy came down wasted, really boisterous, and the opposite. I'm being very friendly to everybody at the table. He was just like aggressively like overbetting everything. So I played 9-3. 9-3 is my birthday, right? It was a 9-3 of spades. There's bets, there's pre-flop bets. We're jamming it up. Now the flop comes with 3 spades, right? He makes like a $200 something bet, something crazy. I move all in, right? And I had like 5 and change in front of me. And I say to the guy, I know you have the ace of spades. I'm giving you bad math to call this, right? He looks down, looks at his cards, looks at me. He goes, I came here to gamble, not to do math. That's what he says to me, right? So he calls my 5 and change. We both turn him over. He has the ace of spades, just like I knew he was going to have. And he misses, and goes crazy, threw a tantrum.
Yeah, forget it.
Yeah, and I said, I told you what I had. I told you I'm giving you. I was like, you can't get mad at me. There was no reason to get mad at me there.
No,
Yeah.
they're crazy.
And he gave away a whole bunch more money after that, and then he went up to his room.
People are really like I could always say if anybody ever listens and stuff when they go into the World Series of Poker. One thing I could tell you, the cash games. There's a lot of people that have no idea how to play poker. They just want the experience.
Yeah.
That's really the truth. There was make a lot of money playing cash because they have no idea what's going on. I could also say that over the time, what you're always going to learn is this, Tom, 100%. You can't play against like poker's like playing, chess, right? You always every move is a strategy. But when you're playing against somebody that has no idea how to play, your strategy, you can make the best strategy ever, and no matter because they don't even know that you made the greatest move
No,
because it
yeah.
doesn't matter to them.
I
And at
agree.
the end of the day, they'll probably either suck out or you got to. So I always enjoyed playing against really heavy players as opposed to even the game sometimes with the lower guys because I know that it doesn't matter. I can't do anything. There's nothing I could do to make a move. Right? I can't do it.
Yeah.
Not going to go away.
Yeah, you can't
You know.
can outsmart stupid. That's just what it is in
Yeah,
poker.
exactly. Right.
You just gotta
exactly.
play. You
can't
play
do
on
it.
your hands.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So I can, and that's what I was telling. And the thing that I did learn too when I was playing a lot of times was once I started playing with the pros, it started getting a lot different. So you learn so much from just playing with the pros. I mean, that's a huge deal.
It's a totally different vibe.
And I sent you that article when I was playing against, kind of set that one up when I was playing against Ryan Riess. That's my claim to fame at that one. So I was telling you earlier, because I don't know these people. I don't care who they are. And they're not like, I know more baseball players better than poker players, right?
Yeah.
So when I was at the table with Ryan Riess, this is the guy, right? He won the World Series of Poker in 2014.
Yeah.
He's
Young
wearing
guy.
the Detroit, right? He's a young guy, very aggressive, wearing the Detroit Lions jersey, and I'm playing with him in a game, and I showed you the article that what I did to him, and if you see, I was talking shit to him, right? I was talking to this guy,
Yeah.
so he, I don't remember exactly, but I know that he had pocket queens. He was trying to bait me into a hand, and I ended up hitting an up and down straight on the flop, and he checks to me, and I check. I go, yeah, I'm not ready to go all in yet. I go, but when I get my card, I'm going to go all in there, buddy, like that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to do it. So I'm going to make my move. Believe me, I'm going to make my move. Well, on the turn, I end up getting it straight, right?
Yeah.
So actually, no, yeah, actually, I get it straight. So I end up going all in, and he calls me, and he had pocket queens, and I ended up having a straight. Took all his money at that point in time, pretty much almost knocked him out. The funny part, Tom, is that this is exactly what happened. Poker News comes up to me. They're like, wow, what were you thinking about when you played that hand? Do you know who that is? I'm like, what? It wasn't the end of the tournament. Like, what are you talking to me about? You just beat the champ. You just now almost knocked the champ out of the game. And I'm like, the champ? Virgil, look at a freaking mess to me. Uncombed hair, look at disaster area. So I go, really? And they had to explain to me. And then, I didn't win that. I got far in that game. I didn't win, but I was more happy with the article being written than I was about
Right.
winning the game. That made me happy.
I'm going to read them the article real fast just because it is an interesting article.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
here's from the WSOP how it went down. Action folds to Anthony Antico on the button, and he opens for 450, only to see Ryan Riess 3-bet him to 1,000 from the small blind. Antico shoots a look over to the 2013 champion before telling Reese, I'm not sure if I want to get it all in yet, so I'm just calling you. The flop comes ace-4-5 with 2 hearts, and the 2 tap the table, bringing the six of spades. The board on the turn, Reese checks once again, and Antico decides the time has come to get the last of his 1,175 into the middle, and Reese tosses out a quick call with 1 chip. Antico proudly tables 7-8 of clubs for the nut straight, and Reese sees that his queen is already drawing dead. Just to rub salt in the wound, the dealer delivers the queen of diamonds on the river to give Reese a meaningless set and not send him to the rail, but take him down pretty hard. There you go. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So it was really crazy because, again, you could see that I am talking crap to these guys,
Yeah.
And
just being you. You being who you are.
Yeah, that's it. And then, the bottom line, too, is nothing is East Coast versus West Coast and how you're playing, right?
Yeah.
So East Coast, we're really aggressive, right? More aggressive. West Coast guys are. I always tell everybody, Atlantic City is great, but Vegas is the major leagues. I mean, it really is. In all honesty, it's the majors. It's not, it's just a really different ball game. It's the major leagues.
Like a totally different vibe.
It's a completely different vibe. What you're doing, how you're calling things, who's talking, who's not talking, and who's hit. What I like to do too, Tom, is I love if they hate me, I'm happier than anybody in the world.
Yeah, you like to play the villain, right? You're more of the villain.
Yeah, you hate me. I get in your head. That's the ultimate
goal.
The ultimate thing.
That's the win. That's the win.
That's the win. The hate is the win.
I want to say what's up, John Noto checking in again. Say what's up to Joe Causey. You know who I just saw the other night on there's a couple different live streams I've been watching, right? So there's a thing called COVID Talks. It's all about the positive things going on during this COVID situation with Anthony Rapp. If anybody wants to tune in, that's a great one. And Massimo Dodonna from Partners in Sound, me and him, I watch a bunch of his stuff. He does his Midday with Mas. They do Gotham Trinity. They do Gotham After Dark is a good one. And Breakfast with Bloomy in the morning. So these 3, I tend to tune in all the time, so I'm always trying to check out all these different streams, right? Because I feel like a lot of people are adapting to it, so they're trying to cut over to it. So as I'm watching one of them the other night, Joe Causey's son is in Cause and Effect, so the other half of Cause and Effect was on, and he was playing all different instruments. I'm like, I gotta have this guy on the stream that he could play. You name a song, he could play it by ear, right out the gate. Doesn't have to look at music or anything.
He could do it. It's unbelievable.
Insane.
You can't even imagine.
Absolutely.
And he's self-taught.
Yeah.
He's self-taught.
That's so crazy.
It's unbelievable. He
Super
does an unbelievable job.
Right?
He has
Super
they're all. Oh, don't even go there. They're all that. The whole family's talented.
The whole family
Joe
is
does
talented.
The whole family's talented. You can't compete.
It's
not even a possibility.
Joe has the voice of God. It booms over you. If it wasn't for Morgan Freeman, he would totally lock up that spot. Morgan Freeman.
He's the voiceover of everything.
Who's the other one? Who's the other guy? There's two guys that are the voice of everything. And then Joe.
That Lawrence Fishburne, maybe, no?
No, not
Is he the
Fishburne.
guy too?
No, who's Darth Vader? Come on, guys. Somebody out there chime in on this.
Oh, shit. We know who he is.
Right? We all know who he is. I just can't place it.
Lee, who's Darth Vader? Who's the guy that played him? James
Earl Jones. There you go.
There you go. Checking the memory out.
Three biggest voices in the world. You got it. James Earl Jones, Morgan Freeman, Joe Causey.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just waiting his turn at bat.
Yeah. 100%.
So crazy.
100%.
Overcome and adapt. I'm just reading some of our comments. You know what it is? It's funny because I'm not usually on a whole bunch of different streams at once, so I'm trying to get used to it. What's up, Mike Bloomfield? There you go. Breakfast with Bloomy just checked in, actually. Mike, I adapted my whole camera setup with Todd Bavona, but I'm going to say that I guess I like it. So I can see a little bit more of all of us. This is Anthony Antico, one of my most animated friends. Not only is an internet sensation, but a great poker player. And also in the IT end. I got to introduce you two gentlemen.
Yeah.
I feel like you all about it. It's all about making connections and keeping this moving forward.
Staten Island-based company, and we're keeping it moving along. Very, very busy. So that's good. It's good.
Yeah,
We've been hiring like 30 people a week. Been hiring like crazy.
That's good, man.
We're literally hiring.
That's good, right? When everybody else... See, I feel like there is a lot of opportunity. There's a lot of opportunity for a lot of different people in a lot of different areas and venues. You just have to find it. We have to find it. What they do need to do is they need to hire more people to answer those phones. James Earl Jones. Because we're on a slight delay. Now people are telling me James Earl Jones. Good job. You got it. I couldn't get that out of my mouth fast enough. But... yeah, so this is all opportunity. We just got to find where the opportunity is. But yeah, I was going to say, my wife, because of this rare situation, she's one of the whatever millions of people that ends up having to call for unemployment, cannot get through. I got a great story, right? So now I'm on the couch, she's in the chair, we're calling back and forth. We're both on two different phones trying to get through this unemployment line, right? It's sick. See, you've been working constantly, so you haven't had to do this. What happens is it lets you on now only to make you answer a million questions and then say, sorry, lines are busy, please call back later, and kicks you back off and restarts you. So now we're doing this back and forth. All of a sudden she gets through. So now her face lights up. It looked like she just won $1 million, right? So she's sitting there waiting for this to go through. She sat. I went in the bathroom. I showered. I came back out. I had something to eat. She was on hold for an hour and 20 minutes. All of a sudden, I hear this girl pick up, hello? I can't hear you. She's like, hello, miss. She's like, sorry, I can't hear you. If you don't answer me now, I'm going to have to disconnect. Hello? I picked up the phone. I'm like, are you there? Answer me. She couldn't hear us. Sorry, disconnected. Hangs up the phone after 2 hours of being on hold. It was out of a movie. I said, my only thing I regretted about it was I didn't have the camera running on her when all of this was happening. Because we must look like maniacs. Maniacs.
I don't think nobody wants to answer.
Nobody wants to answer. Why are they not hiring? They should just be picking up the phone.
Everybody makes it like it's so easy. Oh yeah, you could just do this and blah blah blah. And one of the things I was just kind of interested in last night, I was my wife was talking about people are price gouging out there in some cases. Some people are really being severely gouging prices.
Absolutely.
And that's horrible. And then. It's like, what should something cost? I mean, should it cost quadruple what it normally costs? I mean, it's not right. And there's stores that are in our area that are doing that.
But what's happening too is people. All right, so now I have a friend that has a medical supply company, right? So now
Right.
he wasn't allowed to sell hand sanitizer for more than $5 a thing, $5 a container. But his cost on hand sanitizer went up like 800%. So now he's like, I don't understand. They're putting you in a trapping position where you
That
can't
they're
make
gonna,
money.
but they're gonna. So what happens? I think I wanted to see what they, because I wrote to Mike Riley last night. I wanted to see what he said, because there was like something to do when they're price gouging. You could report this,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think you have to go to the. Let me see. Yeah. There's a form more or less that you got to fill out for this stuff when you see them doing, and again you got to prove that. What are they paying for it? How did it
That's
work?
the question, right?
Right.
Like,
It's
what are
the
they getting
question.
it
I mean,
for?
right. If they're getting it for, like you just said, a high price, then they're not gouging.
Yeah, if he's paying, say
I
he's
would
paying
hate that.
$4.90, but he's not allowed to sell it for more than $5. Just as a small businessman, I'm like, you can't make 10 cents a thing. How are you going to turn any profit on that? You know, I don't think he was
Yeah,
like
you don't want to
$20.
put
I think it was like
anybody out of
six or
business.
$7. But you don't know
You
who
don't
it
want
is.
to.
So then, do you stop the
I
guy
just don't.
above him?
I don't think that. Listen, I just believe that that's a really bad practice, and I mean, so if you got price gouged, you have to go to Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, and fill out this whole thing and kind of tell them what's going on, prove it, blah blah blah, and then submit it, because that's it's just a shame that people would even try to do that right now.
Yeah, and it breaks
That's not
totally
cool.
it totally breaks the other way. No,
Yeah,
I hear that.
yeah, it doesn't work right.
So we're gonna have to do this again. Maybe we'll bring on John Noto with you next time for some Starbucks in the
Oh
morning.
yeah, we got a lot of stories
Or
though.
or if we're blessed, we get the voice of God, Joe Corsi, on here with us. Me and him actually worked together on Sopranos Con. I think I might try and grab a couple of those gentlemen that I worked with on that, because that was a good time. And I feel like it's all about creating a little escaping content. That's what we all want, right? Like something to not focus on what our daily is. That's why I got to give a lot of credit to Massimo Donana doing well out there, Anthony Rapicciolo, Mike Bloomfield, and Todd Bavona, all good, doing good content. And I like watching any of the local people like that are starting to get involved in this. I think that's a big thing. There's also a great. I don't know if you follow comedy. I enjoy comedy a lot. There's a great comedy podcast from Soul Joel produces it, and it's Mark Riccadonna and Richie Byrne, and it's called Comedy, Jokes, Drinks, and Storytelling. Excellent. I'm a huge
Yeah, it's
fan of
cool.
that. I catch that a lot. It's Frank Rapp just chimed in. He said unemployment relaunched their site last night, supposedly working better now and processing much faster. Frank, I would like to call bullshit on that because I was on the phone all day today, but we'll see. I'll check it again tomorrow. Maybe it takes a day. Mario wants to know. He wants to know what's up with the mailman not bringing your mail.
Hey, Harry, he had to ask that question.
He had to
Yeah,
ask
well,
that question.
and that's what happened was I have a big German Shepherd. I got a new male person, to be whatever that be politically correct. It was a male person. My
It was a
my
male person,
dog.
not a
I
mailman.
just want you to know, my dog is locked inside of the house. The mailbox is next to my door, and this new male person refused to deliver my mail to my house because she was afraid of the dog. Oh, I said she. Sorry, she was afraid of the dog that was
They were afraid of the dog.
afraid of the dog locked in my house. Panicked, wouldn't give me my mail. I was getting letters from the IRS because I owed money. It was the greatest experience ever. I couldn't get Tom. You ever want to talk about stopping the process? Try to stop the mail process.
That
Try
is
to figure that out.
crazy. That is
It's
crazy.
outrageous. Yeah, that's what they wouldn't give me mail. Well, how long went on for? 2 weeks. No, actually 3 weeks. 3 weeks. They banned me from going into the mail site because I was so furious about the mail. They told me I was going to arrest me. The mail police were going to come and investigate me because this woman wouldn't bring me mail. And I'll tell you the funny end of the story was my great friend, he does everything. Renaissance man John Noto, because I cannot build or do anything. I'm just not happening.
Not handy.
John Noto, wait, this is the greatest thing in the world. They told me to move my mailbox, and John Noto installed my new mailbox for me on my curb. He made it all right.
At that. He made it happen.
He made it all right.
Anybody
He
that
just
needs a
was
mailbox done, I'll
Yeah,
put his name.
yeah.
I'll put his name
No, did
below.
it. And I watched Noto do it too. I was like, oh wow, this is unbelievable.
I haven't
You know?
gotten a chance to clip over to StreamYard yet, but I am messing with it, Mike. I'm learning it. I am learning it. Hold on. There's so many because I'm trying to field questions from like 3 different parts. Oh, John Noto. Did he grow up in the Tompkinsville area, McKee High School? John, check in. Bernie wants to know, and we appreciate it, Rich. They said they enjoyed a lot of our poker talk, so we definitely have to do more of this. We will do more of this, Ant. We're gonna get you involved with us a little bit more on the stream. Anybody else have anything for us? If not, I'm going to let you make some final statements, Ant, before I clock out. Can you hear me?
I just, I appreciate. Listen, I know Tom for a long time now, or a while, from the poker side of it, and he runs a great operation. He's always positive. I mean, he really does. He's dedicated to it, and John knew him before I did. I mean, John knew you for a long time, but
Yeah, from
you
Joey.
do a great job, and I think you guys run a really professional organization. That's why I went to visit him one day, and I told him I could probably get you some business, right? And remember, I was there, and I wouldn't recommend just anybody because I knew you could do it, and then you ended up getting a pretty decent gig from,
I have a couple.
from who
Yeah,
I recommend.
So next
You know what I
yearly.
mean?
I'm hoping they
Yeah,
go
yeah,
off
yeah.
again this year. They are a very good company. They're a good
They're
time.
great. They're a $20 billion company.
Yeah, that is not a bad
company.
number when you're $1 billion company.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping we get back. Either that or I got to put.
I'm going to be back, Tom. It's all going to work out.
You know what I'm going to do?
It's not going to stay forever.
You said John Noto's handy. I need to get some plexiglass sheets to individual spaces so everybody can sit in their own little cubicles.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
It'll be
Exactly
like
right.
we could do it. That's doable. That's something that can be built. We could do that.
100%.
And then just do it just like they have in ShopRite, where there's plexiglass in front of you with the cashier. They could just deal the cards, touch and go. Oh,
One of those poker players, that guy Allen, I don't know his last name, but the guy I told Allen last night, the guy's been coughing for freaking 5 years already. I can't sit next to him. He coughs all over me the whole time. It's the most unenjoyable coughing on me. Mario knows who he is too. Mario knows who I'm talking about.
I think I know who he is. I think he's probably watching on one of these streams too, which is the best part.
Yeah, he's probably Alan be coughing up the storm.
Make sure you check out Angry Italian Dad if you want to check it out, and check out Ant16. You want to take a look at that, and yeah, I think I might do an After Dark segment because me and Marco and Frank Rapp, if they're out there, because I don't want to ask you the questions that could get you in trouble, Anthony. So I am going to ask strictly that of these other gentlemen. Usually we come on here and we do a lot of. You ever play the game MFK?
No.
All right. So MFK is this game. I'm not going to make you do it. We're going to do it afterwards on the next segment because usually we have a player from the bar league and there's no holds barred at a certain point. I turn off of Facebook. We go strictly to a live stream on YouTube and we edit it all out so you can only see up to it. But we start asking them questions such as the MFK is marry, fuck, kill, and we give you 3 people and that's it. You want to do one? I'll let the crowd give you one. John Noto, you're allowed to give one MFK. Go. Is he out? I don't know if he's still out there. He might be. Now, it's going to be a 20-second delay while everybody processes that. And one of my poker players says, that dude coughs on me, too.
Yeah, he knows what I'm talking about.
So you're not. That's a poker
league.
player that you've never even met that's played strictly in the bar league, which is great.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
man.
dude's been coughing. He's the first coronavirus patient.
Patient zero. He might be patient zero.
Zero. Yeah. Yeah.
I did hear he took a trip to Wuhan not too long ago.
Yeah. Freaking.
Oh, man.
Like you're in the middle of a big hand and all of a sudden he's coughing on you. Like, are you seriously coughing on me? But and it's hours of coughing on you. Hours.
I don't know, man. That's a tough one because people do that a lot. I know a bunch of people. Hey, what's up? Adam just checked in. Adam Weintraub. I heard the Thursday night game is going to be back in effect monthly. I just don't know what day it's going to take off, but he's trying to say hi. How
Adam's
are you,
got
Adam?
You see Adam's beard? Did you see the picture he put up?
I did see Adam's beard.
He looks like Grizzly Adams right now.
I know. His beard is
really
coming
good.
out and wrapping around his mask, which I think is amazing.
I can't believe that is some beard.
I didn't even know he stays so clean shaven for the first time. Adam Weintraub, Weintraub Realty.
Like that. Yeah.
The I would not have been able to guess that either. I'm growing in, but I grow in super slow. I shaved the
Me
other
too.
day, and it takes forever. All right, so let's see. I gave him a chance. Gave people a chance to give you the MFK if they didn't post one up yet. No, he said he Noto said he won't do it. He'll be in trouble, so he won't even give you the answers. So
Yeah, I won't even answer anything.
it's all right.
Crazy.
I'm gonna play. If you want to watch that, we're gonna play it next. That should be coming off in the next half hour or so. But we want to thank Anthony 200 times over again for joining us today, and we will be back. I think I'm gonna live stream almost all weekend because nobody live streams on the weekend. That's the only shot I got at you, Bloomy. You, Moss, and Todd. Don't do it during the weekend. I think I'm gonna take over the leftover space for everybody. So thank you again, Anthony, for coming out with me tonight. I appreciate
problem,
having
pal.
you
Thank
with
you.
me. Thank you. Be safe, everybody. Don't touch your face. Wash your hands. Stay quarantined for a little while longer, and we'll find ways to get through this together. Have a good one, guys. Thanks, and we are going to outro. Don't go anywhere, Ant, because I'll talk to you in the green room.